Good afternoon, my lovely people. It's been a while. It was a very heavy work week. That's all I'm going to say. Right, butterfly journals are done. And I say journals, I'll show you the other one in a minute. I just wanted to show you how this cover finished up. Yeah, the tissue paper didn't go quite as translucent as I was hoping it was going to be, but I kind of like it. And now I'm happy that these are going to stay on, all of these things here. It muted the whole thing, but as I say, I kind of like it. Now, it wasn't wide enough, so what I did was, that's the lining fabric. Let me turn it that way. I cut the lining fabric 2 inches longer, stitched it down here, turned it back, stitched it down there, and it gave it an extension basically. But the colours didn't look quite right. But when I looked through my stash, I had this lovely, I don't know what colour you'd call it, sort of like a bluey green lace. So I stitched that on back and front, and yeah, I love it now. I think it's really cool. One of these amazing vintage crochet tassels that I think it was Paula gave me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I've tied it onto a bulb pin, and it goes through the eyelet there, so obviously it's removable. Yeah, if it drives people nuts. So I found this almost perfect match suitcase yarn. Do you remember that tail? Yeah, so I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Let's get it done, and then it's finished, and I will give you a flip through. I'm going to have to take that off because it won't go. This is my amazingly technical cradle. It's just a book in a box, but it works. Right, let me just take that off a second. Stay there. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a walkthrough in a moment. Let's get these in first of all. Obviously you're going to get glimpses, or if my head gets in the way, I'm trying to make sure I'm even. I don't think there was... There's one little half page. Let's move you up slightly. Right, hold on. Let's get organised here. Just even things out a bit. Make sure everything gets caught in the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Right, okay. That's good enough. Yeah, as I say, I'm really happy the way it turned out in the end. So yeah, it's all good. Clip. There you are. Now, when it's one signature, I don't bother to measure. I just kind of guesstimate holes. Just make sure that's in there. We're going up just a tad. Oh, fiddly dee. I've done the other one in like a second. Typical. Hang on, I'll be back. Right, sorry, I needed to lift it up higher and I didn't want to bash the camera. Right, okay, so yeah, I'm just going to sort of guesstimate the middle. It seems to be about there. Hopefully that's gone all the way through. I've got my thread threaded already. And of course there's a knot. Why wouldn't there be? I'm going to have the tails inside because it's got the dangly bit that goes on the outside. I don't want to have these dangling and a spine dangle as well. Everyone's got their own way of doing this 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I know Gail goes back through the middle and then comes back up the top. It doesn't really make any difference as long as you get the 3. Let's get those off. Let's get this out of the way. Let's take you off. Oh, I couldn't sit down for a minute because the cat was on the chair, but she's gone now, so that's good. I can sit down. Hurrah! Now this thread, as lovely as it is a pain for undoing itself. So I'm going to put a tiny dab of glue so that I'm happy it's not going to come undone. And I'll show you the other one while that's setting. Shouldn't take 2 minutes to set. See, already right, I'll put that aside for a second. Right, so this is, oh Susan, I wish you'd organise yourself. Right, this is journal number 1. I made this cover years ago and I've had a bit of a rejig in my room. Again, I know I'm terrible for it, but I found this in amongst a pile of stuff that was kind of waiting to be stitched, well, done something with, and I thought it's going to be ideal. So I've pinned this butterfly, oh God, it's not going well, is it? Butterfly to the front. It's a heat bondable one, so I'm going to leave it that whoever wants the journal, they can either heat bond it on the front just with a hot iron, or just take it off and just have that as the cover. Yeah, it's one that I did ages ago. It's all free motion embroidery and all sorts of stuff. Let me just see. Earring screen. Yep, so I've sort of split the 2 signatures because it was just too much for one journal. Well, I suppose I could have done one journal, but it had been one really thick journal, which that I've just sort of pegged over the top. Yeah, people decide what they want to do with that. But yeah, I'm really pleased actually. They've turned out really well. Not overly decorated. Sometimes you don't want that. That's a bit of coffee dyeing with that lovely table mat thing that I've got. Made a belly band because I told you I would do that, didn't I? Yeah. That's the centre, which I quite like actually. It's good fun. All sorts going on in here. So again, that could, you know, be further decorated with a big, I put 2 little charms on because this string will tie and hold. That other one really doesn't, not without a dab of glue. I put some of the snippets in tucks. That's the original card from the Butterfly Farm. That's the other half of that journal insert thingy. I put affirmation, well, they're not affirmation, they're sort of touchy-feely ones about butterflies. I don't know what they're called. Pockets, butterflies, yeah, you get the idea. Yeah. And in the in each one actually, I got these, I think I showed you these, didn't I? I got them from the Butterfly Farm. So I thought I'd just put them in as they are. And then, you know, if anybody buys these, they can just do what they like with these pictures. They can you know, stick them in as decoration or make their own journal out of that, to be honest with you. It's quite big. And then in this gel printed, not going to seal it up envelope, because that colour actually goes really well, so that could be used to be cut up for pockets and things. I've put in, I had some extra snippets left over, so I've just sort of put that in a vellum pocket. I got one of those, I can't remember what they're called, anyway, concertina journal spot thingies there. And then some of the little flower fairy stickers. I think I showed you these, didn't I? I got those. They're really nice actually. I was really pleased with those. Some butterfly decoration. You can see what's here. Bit of butterfly gift wrap paper. And yeah, so it's just a bunch of goodies, which can be done with whatever. So that one just wraps like that. Do it that way, that'll do. So yeah, really nice. I like that one. Well, I like them both actually. Are you? More or less. Good enough. So yes, that's turned out really nicely. Let me put that back on, as I will forget. Turn it to you, Susan. Makes life a lot easier. Just make that central. Put a bit of plastic in there for a minute. I don't want it sticking the other page. Shouldn't do, but sod's law. It'll happen. It can only happen to me. Yeah, so as I say, I was really quite pleased with the way it turned out, I'll be honest with you. Quite muted, but still pretty, very pretty. Are you in screen still? Let me drag you down a little bit. You're a bit high, aren't you? There we are. It's a bit better, isn't it? There we are. So yeah, same pack as the other journal. So yeah, and all sorts of pretties, pages, snippets, pockets, bit of colouring if you get bored. Yeah, I love the snippets. I keep forgetting to do these in journals, but I really like them. They're just enough on a page, you know. You don't want, you know, the whole idea of a journal is that you can stick your own things in, not just have somebody else's decorations in there. I love this. It turned out really, really well. So you got two big pockets here with big journaling cards. And then in this one is that gel print. I turned it into a journaling card. I thought that would just be perfect in there. Goes in a no problem at all. And then I think, yeah, just a lovely piece of lovely writing paper in there. So yeah, I was really pleased. And yesterday I sort of looked at it, and this middle bit was a bit plain because it was just kind of, well, you know, not decorated basically. So I just found these pieces of lace, and I had another snippet left over, and these are cork butterflies, which I die cut and then put through the embossing folder that comes with it. It's the Tim Holtz one. Just battling with this, hold on. Yeah, so it does go in, honest. What's going on? Thank you. I don't think you went right in, did you? Right, there we are. Yeah, so like that, really nice centre spread. That is now stuck. That's all good. So it's nice and secure. Yeah, botanicals. A bit of washi. Another snippet. The other half of that thing. That's why I cut the bits off there, because then you can get that in and out, no problem at all. That's a journaling card in there. That one, he's got a butterfly. It's a cat. Had to put a cat in, apparently. Yeah, butterfly scrapbook paper. This is that paper out of Indigo Blue magazine, which is really lovely. Obviously a tuck there, and this is a Roxy Creations scrap paper things. I don't know how to do it all. Yeah, so we made those with Roxy. Was it last year or a year before? Anyway, I didn't put a closure on it, just because I didn't want to, really. It doesn't need one at the moment. I guess if it gets too bulky, you know, again, it can be simply tied, or, you know, something stitched on the front there. It doesn't have to be tied up. So yeah, so I'm pretty chuffed with the way it turned out. It was a long slog. I think it's the longest time I've ever spent on a journal cover, because it was the canvas first of all, that all went wrong. Then I did my own acrylics on it, and then that was fine, but the gems were dropping off. And then the tissue paper, when I did it, I was like, oh, it's a complete failure, oh my lordy. But actually, I really like it. I really do like it. And then it wasn't wide enough, so I had to think about how to extend it. So it's been a long time making this one, but it's done. So there we are. I'll put those in the shop soon. Yeah, I'm very happy. I've got one more on the boil, which is not even anywhere near completed yet. But this is a wraparound one, and this is just going to be completely naked. So, but yeah, we'll do that one as well. It's a lot of chatting, isn't it? Okay, I hope you enjoyed seeing the final journal. I love these. Thank you very much. I'm sure it was Paula. I'm sure that was in your box of goodies. Thank you. I never even thought of using them as spine tassels, and then I found them again, I'd say, tidying through and sorting out, and I thought they're going to be perfect, and it was. So yeah, right, gonna have a few more videos this weekend, because it's just been bonkers. I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care.